Well, good morning, traders, and welcome to the last day of the quarter. Obviously, very strange and eerie things going to happen on the last day of the quarter, so that's something to be cognizant of. We do see the ASX pushing very modestly above 5,900 today, and whether or not we can sustain that level will be interesting. You know, we may see a lot of traders looking to get that last minute alpha from their performance, trying to etch out any kind of gains they can. Anyone who obviously tries to benchmark themselves against an index, whether that's the ASX or probably more likely the accumulation index, which has pushed up 5% on the quarter, will be interesting. So we could see some strange flows today, so it's definitely worth watching price action from around about 10:30 once the market's had a chance to digest all the leads we've been seeing. And you know, obviously we could potentially push up to 6,000 in the coming week, and that to me represents a level where I think we're going to see greater shorting opportunities in the short term, because the market will be expensive, probably closer towards that 17 times forward earnings. The SPI futures in May last year got up to 6,011. You know, that was so that's now big resistance, and of course you've got the market internals which are really stretched as well. The leads of today are quite positive to a degree. I mean, the banks did quite well in the US, and I like the fact that you get that rotation in US markets. When you get a market that's too hot, you get people moving out of that into a sector that's unloved, and that has been the banks in the last couple of weeks. You know, the KBE, if you look at the financial sector, has pulled back 13% or so. So good flows into there last night, and that's a big positive that you are seeing that sector rotation. So we close out the quarter in Australia, as I say, up 4.1%. You compare that to the S&P, which is down about 0.5%. You compare that to the Euro stocks, up 1.1% in Aussie dollar terms. The FTSE down over 1%. In Asia, the Hang Seng's probably the next best performer, up 3.7%. And you've got the ASX actually outperforming quite nicely on the quarter. Healthcare really being the big beneficiary, up nearly 12% or over 12%. On the quarter, you've got utilities doing well, staples and financials doing well. So what we take out is, while we have had a big performance in the quarter, it's been driven by very defensive earnings streams. Companies that have very predictable and reliable cash flows have been the place to be. Whether that transcends in and rolls over into Q2 is something to be seen. And I think it's also very interesting to see that the Aussie dollar on the quarter has been easily the best performer, you know, rallying nicely, nearly 6% against the greenback. So whether again that continues in Q2 will be something to look at closely. But today, we're calling the market around 5,900. What happens on that last day will be very interesting indeed.